Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad doesn't support you.
You should know, you worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live! Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 254. Add them all together. Quick math.
Didn't ask.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't care. No.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
No, go ahead and start talking. Do the
I don't want
podcast.
to. I didn't say I wanted to talk.
Well, you said you didn't care, so why don't you talk instead? Maybe we'll talk about something you care about.
Don't care. There's the patch notes, by the way. I put them in there. Or the rule set, I mean.
That's cool, man.
Don't care.
You think this is good content?
Do I think any of it is good content ever? No, of course not.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Welcome to the show. Today, we are talking about titanium trials. The titty trials, the TTs, as they say. As I say, as only I've said.
Yeah,
and
true.
We, that's the topic of this episode. We played some titanium trials, some, we'll get into it. And we are going to be basically doing our first impressions on the mode today. Now, some of you might be thinking, why dedicate a whole Saturday episode to some LTM that's only in the game for 2 weeks? Which is sort of a fair point. Typically, we don't do that, in fact. We usually do not dedicate whole ass episodes to LTMs because they're not that important, right? But in the case of Iron Trials and Titanium Trials, I think these carry more weight and gravity and importance for 2 reasons. Number one, they are ostensibly, again, we'll get into it, the higher skill gap game mode. So that's one reason. And then another is, again,
Supposedly.
I think it is still possible that some of the Iron Trials, Titanium Trials, Kevlar Trials, whatever else we're going to get, game modes, may be some sort of inspiration for Activision that will carry through to Warzone 2 regular mode. We had this theory a long time ago when competitive Warzone, sanctioned by Activision, was first starting to be talked about, and we had the theory that, maybe Iron Trials is their way to kind of test what a competitive rule set would be like. That since has kind of fallen off, and that's not quite how we feel anymore, although there might be some kernels of truth in that. But still, I do think Iron Trials, Titanium Trials, how much they seem to emphasize that this is the more competitive mode, the wider skill gap mode. I do still think there's something to Activision getting insights from these Iron Trials modes and implementing them in some capacity into the next iteration of Warzone, whether it be in the normal mode, the competitive mode, or if both of them share the same rule set. So for those reasons, that's kind of why I think these are worthwhile episodes to do. And that's what we're doing today. So before we get into that, a few quick announcements. Number one, we did a gameplay stream. I'll say this. We attempted to do a gameplay stream of Titanium Trials this week. This was on Tanner's end. Tanner, tell us about that experience.
Well, started off with no audio when I started the stream up. Had to go through and change all my audio sources on OBS. It turns out I saw today that I guess the latest Windows update reset all OBS audio settings. So if you stream ever on OBS and you updated Windows recently, all of your audio probably got reset. So you may want to check on that. So I had no audio, had to figure all that out. Just don't ever buy a PC, actually.
Yeah,
it's
console
just
master
insane.
race.
So we were 1 hour into my stream. We had played one game. It was just disaster after disaster. We random filled. We made it the furthest we made it with random fills because Cope and Lag are terrible and dog shit and not good teammates. So we made it further with random bots. Then they came.
And they
it
were
took
dog
10
shit,
minutes
by
to
the way.
find a lobby. We get into the lobby. It's a laggy disaster. We play it out anyways. We'll get more into that lag in a second. We get like 39th place probably. Go back to the main menu. Lag and Cope get kicked because they have a playlist update. Smile.
Oh, God. I forgot about this.
Somewhere in that, by the way, too, my game locked at 60 frames because I alt-tabbed out, so I had to restart my video game. So they got a playlist update, so Raz and I didn't, so we just waited in the game for them to come back. They come back after 10 minutes of fetching profile. I try to join on them. Boom, I can't. The game can't be found because we had a playlist update. Restart the game, relaunch the game. Oh, cool, let me just join on Cope again. Get to the main menu, update requires restart. Still to this day, the only video game I've ever played in my life, a Call of Duty video game, is the one that restarts the game for you and then tells you update requires restart.
Yep.
It's absurd. It's insanity. No game ever that have I played on PC in my life makes you do that, except for Call of Duty games. Right. Please figure it out for the next game. It is so unnecessary and annoying, and fuck you, be better devs. So just disaster after disaster. We finally joined on Cope. It took another 30 minutes to find the lobby. I mean, it was just a disaster. The lobbies were torched, laggy. Then OBS crashed 2 times in there somewhere. Cope's like, oh, Tanner, you already ended your stream, huh? And I was like, nope, says I'm still streaming on my end. Boom, OBS is just frozen. So I said, all right, well, that was a nice hour, 50-minute stream. I'm done. See ya.
Yeah.
So it was just full tilt right from the start.
Yes. So that's kind of a nice, and I'll get more into my experience as well, but that is a summation of how the gameplay stream went. So yeah, if you were watching live or you wanted to go watch live and you're really confused, that's why we ended early. Tanner's OBS froze, and then we said, fuck it.
Twice,
we're done. Yeah. So that's what happened there. One other announcement. We've been getting some more feedback on Patreon, on the Patreon. As we had announced, we've done a behind-the-scenes episode on how we are thinking about overhauling the Patreon. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback on that. And we've gotten some more feedback today that I am going to run by you guys. Another thing, and I'll announce this publicly now. The other details we'll announce publicly as we get closer to September. But one thing we are probably going to start offering for all of our patrons is early access. If you guys care about it. Because the feedback we've been getting is like, yeah, I like to watch the Twitch VODs because those are live as soon as you guys are done recording. Whereas the actual podcast in my app or on YouTube isn't up until the following day. And I really like to watch it like ASAP. So that got me thinking, I wonder if that would be something a lot of people would be interested in, being able to watch or listen to the entire podcast early. Would early access incentivize you guys who are maybe not patrons into becoming patrons? Is that something you would care about? If we could put it on the app sooner for you, let me know. Let us know. Because I do wonder if all the people who really want early access or who are really into doing that are just already huge fans. Because this feedback we've gotten is from people who are already patrons. So maybe not many people would care about this, but maybe they would. So if you're like not a patron, let us know if early access is something you would like. That would probably be about 12. You'd get it probably 12 hours before it would hit the public feed.
Hit the TL, yeah.
So let us know on that. But that's a good idea. So, all right. Other than that, that is it. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. Shout out to Werepig, yeah.
Dude, I was concerned for that guy in our game that was coughing the whole time. That was a nasty cough.
I muted him so fast, my head
He never
spun.
said a word. It was like... He never said a word. He just coughed into his mic. I'm like, why is your mic on?
It's the typical Call of Duty player. Diseased, sickly, dying, mentally ill, probably.
You have to be all of those things to play this game.
That
you
is
must be.
Especially to just random fill fucking titanium trials.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
we are live!
They want accessibility. They're getting it, man. A lot of illnesses.
It's maybe too accessible. Welcome to the show. Today, we're talking about titanium trials. First impressions. So, not categorized at all. We're going to talk about our experience. Maybe give a couple tips, maybe not. This is mostly going to be, our impressions of the game mode. So, to give some context, when we had Iron Trials last, that was the most fun I had playing Warzone in a very long time. This was maybe, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, we last had Iron Trials. And I played more Warzone.
I don't know.
While Iron Trials was out than I played Warzone since mid-Verdansk. Like, so much Warzone, dude. I was playing hours a day. Because Iron Trials was so goddamn fun. For a couple of reasons. Number one, for whatever reason, there was no skill-based matchmaking. So the lobbies were there was a lot of variety in the lobbies and in the individual teams you would fight. And also because of the rule set. Slower TTK, wider skill gap. Everything they say Iron Trials is supposed to be, for the most part, was so in the last Iron Trials. So I was very excited for Titanium Trials. I was very much looking forward to it because they packaged it as, this is Iron Trials where we increase the skill gap, except it's Titanium Trials where the skill gap is even wider. Well, oops, though. And we're going to get into that. So I was very excited. I went into this with a totally open mind. In fact, I went into it thinking, wow, this is going to be as fun or more fun than Iron Trials was last. Boy, was I mistaken. Boy, was I mistaken on that point. For many reasons that we're going to get into. So, I will also start by saying, I had a largely abysmal experience playing Titanium Trials. That wasn't even the fault of Iron. I'm not calling it Titanium Trials, by the way. From henceforth, I'm saying Iron Trials. I'm referring to Titanium Trials. Stop doing that. Don't do it. Say more Iron Trials.
Takes too long to get out.
It's
Titanium.
too many syllables.
Yeah.
We gotta stop. So if I say Iron Trials,
Accessibility issue.
It is an accessibility
impediment.
issue. It's too many syllables. From now on, when I say Iron Trials, I'm referring to Titanium Trials. Okay. I had a terrible time last time when we just played. That wasn't even the fault of it being Iron Trials specifically. So we played a number of games. Our first few games were honestly kind of fun. They weren't great, but they weren't like too terrible, whatever. I don't know, but we'll get more into that. Our second to last game, I'm shooting people in the game. So our second to last game is incredibly slow. We're in the match for a solid 15 minutes, and we've seen literally 3 people. Not 3 teams, 3 people. I'm not exaggerating. Literally 3. Is that correct, Tanner?
Something like that,
We
yeah.
had one bounty. It was just some guy.
He was trying to solo quad, yeah.
We drop somewhere. We buy loadout. We don't see a single solitary goddamn soul. 152 people in Titanium Trials versus 130 on normal BR, by the way. Very bizarre. So we land. We don't see a goddamn soul. Okay, we're fucking bored. We have loadout. We say, okay, and we all have tempered. Cool. Sick ground loot. We get a bounty. We fly 500 meters. It is just a guy. We, of course, piss on him. Cool. All right. Well, now we're going to go to another bounty, I guess. On the way to that bounty, we see some guy again. Just one fucking guy. Kill him. Then we get the bounty. And then we go over to the bounty. Still, just some guy. What? Oh no, there were two here. I'm sorry, there were two. There was the bounty guy, we kill him, and then there was another some guy, solo again. No idea why. We kill him too. So 4 people. This is 15 minutes now into the match. So then finally we find where everyone's been hiding, and turns out it is by like resort, like west of resort capital area. So then we're there. Finally, we found where all the people are. I don't know how this happened, but whatever. And Tanner and Cope, or no, Tanner and Lag just full send, because they're so, and it's not even their fault. Was it a dumb thing to do? Of course it was. We had high ground. We were in a great position. There was no reason to leave it. However, is it their fault for losing the advantageous position in this case? Of course not. I almost did it myself. I was this bored. Because it's not our fault. We saw 4 people in 15 minutes.
It was Lag's fault, not mine.
I should have jumped down. I mean, that's how boring this was. So anyway, whatever. They jumped down.
Should have jumped off and not pulled your chute. Killed yourself.
I mean, it would have been... I would have tilted less than the way I ended up dying. So then they're down there getting whatever, gang banged. I'm shooting people. I'm doing damage. I'm getting downs, whatever. Some guy walks up 10 meters behind me, kills me. No audio. No dead silence, by the way. He just runs up to me, right behind me, starts shooting me. Outside. Just no audio, and I'm dead. Cool. Awesome. That was really fun.
And you're back on your gaming headset, right?
Yeah, and I was wearing a headset, too. I absolutely should have heard him. And I didn't. And I died to no audio. This is the traditional Warzone experience that soured it to me so goddamn much lately, which I've talked about a lot. It is so tilting to die to shit you shouldn't die to, such as not hearing someone you absolutely should have been able to hear. So I had no chance, and I lost because the game's audio is bad. That was really annoying, especially after 15 minutes of doing dick all, because we didn't see a single goddamn soul. Then, the next game, it was just an unfortunate situation. There's a guy in a building. I run into the door. It's pitch black. I barely see him, but fine. He starts doing damage to me. I start doing damage to him. I have a stim. I bang the stim. I'm running back out of the door. I guarantee you I'm totally fine here if Cope was not trying to run through the same door at exactly the same time. So then I get stuck in the room. I otherwise would have been 100% fine, but I die because Cope just like fucking shoulder checks me back into the room while I'm getting my ass fucked by an aim assist Armaguerra. So then I get downed, and then Cope dies too because he meant to push in, but he couldn't. So he's standing in the doorway with his dick in his hand. So he gets shit on also. So we both just die in this situation that was super unlucky, where if I had been able to get out or him in, we easily both survive, like 100% of the time. So it was just 2 in a row, just dog shit deaths, super frustrating. I was full tilt. I mean, full tilt, dude. Just completely full tilt. And neither of those deaths are the result of Iron Trials. They're the result of, in the former case, Warzone audio, which is not Iron Trials' fault. It's Activision's entire game's fault. And in the second case, just super unlucky, but at a really bad time where I was already tilting quite hard from that. So before we even start this podcast, let me say that those were my last 2 games of Iron Trials. Okay? So we did not have a great experience. A lot of it was Iron Trials' fault. A lot of it wasn't. A lot of it was that, and a lot of it was Tanner's continuous, unending technical difficulties. So let me just say that to again set the stage for this experience.
Well, yeah. Also, we're gonna play this mode more. We wanted to play it more yesterday, but with 2 times OBS freezing, my game crashing, or like being all bugged out once or twice, I'm just like, okay, I'm done trying for now. Fuck this. We'll be playing more of this mode for sure, because most of the issues we had were just Warzone in, what month are we in? August of 2022. That's what most of the fault was. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the game mode. It was just Warzone. So, yeah, and I was talking to Raz about this. I just don't, I don't know why dying in this game tilts me so much, because I feel like it's never a legitimate death. That's the issue with Warzone right now. Is every time I die, some kid that has a 0.4 KD but way better aim within 15 feet than me. It's someone that I don't hear. It's getting airstrike through a building. Just the same shit that we've been dealing with for 2.5 years that are still there. And it's like, dying in Tarkov is way more detrimental because you lose everything you brought in. You lose everything you just got that raid. You die right at the end of the raid. And somehow, I don't know how this even is the case. It doesn't tilt me as much. I got extract camp last night. We played a raid for 25 minutes. I get grenaded at the extract. I wasn't even mad. It's weird. But yet, anytime I get down on Warzone, I mean, I'll come back to Warzone. I'll have 12 deaths in a game of Warzone. Just keep coming back and back. It's more tilting. I don't get it. It's so weird to me. Because it's just like, I feel like I never die a legitimate way in Warzone anymore. It's just always some dog shit.
Yeah.
So that's... our games yesterday were pretty full tilt.
Yeah.
So, these thoughts will change. Maybe like Biggie said, maybe we'll have maybe we will do another episode on this for Patreon or something once we play this mode. Because in theory, it's going to be a lot better than regular Warzone. So we'll get some more into it. But, a lot of this is going to be negative because we were tilted as fuck yesterday.
Yes, true. You know what's funny? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. What you just said is so true. I think it is because in Warzone, when you die, it's just so often illegitimate. And that is the tilting part. And it happens, I feel like I get like gapped or die in a legitimate manner so rarely in Warzone that when it happens to me, every single time lately, I will make it a point to be to say out loud, I'm not even mad I died there. That was a good fight, or that guy just pissed on me. I'm not even mad that I died there. And because that is so rare, I actually go out of my way to say that. Because it's true. There are times in Warzone where someone's just better than me. And there are times too where like I'll enter a building and I'll die to someone using an SMG at 5 meters. Now, 80% of the time that happens, I was probably never going to win anyway, because this is a good player who's also on controller, maximizing all the tools to their advantage, including rotational aim assist. And I just get like completely destroyed and I had no chance. But for example, there are times where I will die within 5 meters and I watch the kill cam and I can immediately tell you if someone is not on controller. Within 2 seconds, if I die in 5 meters to someone using an SMG who's on K-BAM, it's immediately obvious. And I'm like, oh, damn, that guy's just really good at K-BAM and he's just aims better than me. And he just pissed on me really close with an SMG. I'm not even mad. That guy just gapped me. But it happens so infrequently these days with all the, oh, this guy parachuted on me and there was 0 audio. Okay, well, of course I'm tilting. There was nothing I could have done to stop myself from dying. That's what tilts me so much about dying in Warzone. That's the thing. So, to Tanner's point. But anyway.
It just, most of it doesn't ever feel like legit deaths.
It feels like there's nothing you could have done to not die there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you have no agency and what you do, when what you do does not influence whether you live or die, of course it's tilting. Why am I playing a game where I'm going to die in ways that I can't play around? Of course that's annoying. So, anyway. To get back to the topic at hand, Titanium Trials. First point here. Dog shit servers. Super laggy servers. Every single game, I think, without fail, the first like 5 minutes would be incredibly laggy dog shit. And it was happening to all of us. It was not like my game or Tanner's game. It was our two teammates too, Cope and Lag. And it was almost certainly everyone else, because we've been hearing a lot in our Discord that the servers have been really shit lately. I think it's on Titanium Trials specifically. And then Tanner brought up the point, and I think he's probably right. It's because probably Titanium Trials 152 players on Caldera instead of just 130 in regular BR. And those extra 22 players is just simply too much for Activision servers to handle. And that is probably why 5 minutes into a match, the lag's gone. Why?
Yes, yeah.
A bunch of people just died.
Yeah.
And now there aren't 152 people in the lobby anymore, and then the lag goes away. Pretty funny. Pretty weird that this is the case. But this could be why they lowered the player count, and then they said something else to dress it up as, oh no, we want to do it for your experience. When in reality, they wanted to do it because their servers are shit, and they don't want to say, hey, we're lowering the player count because our servers can't handle it, and we don't want to like invest in better servers. It's admitting fault.
Yes.
It's admitting fault, right? So instead they want to dress it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you still believe this, right?
Yeah, that Cope had brought that up. I was like, oh yeah, because he had been playing regular Warzone right before, and I don't think they were having issues on those servers where there's a lower player count. And I was like, dude, yeah, you're right, because we had talked about this. I used to always complain about the servers. Some people didn't seem to like have that many issues with it. But the servers have been worse since Caldera came out compared to how they were in Verdansk, just like lag, packet loss, etc. And we had theorized that was the real reason when they dropped to 120 players. I said that back then. I was like, it's probably because they can't handle it. And so, yeah, they're going to say like, oh, like we think it'll play better this way. We're going to add self-res everywhere. We're going to add high-value loot zones with more self-res everywhere. You're going to spawn in with 4 self-revives and then come back from the gulag with 15 self-revives that you can pass out to your teammates. And so they pretended and lied to us and said it was because the flow or something, but it wasn't. Absolutely. It was because whatever happened with the seamless integration, the seamless transition with Vanguard, everything coming into Warzone, Caldera, something fucked the servers. It's probably just as they've talked about, there's way too much clutter on the back end, and the servers can't handle that amount of players anymore. And so, yeah, for some reason for trials, though, they put it back to that amount. Maybe they're honestly testing it in trials, like, oh, like maybe we did some changes on the back end. We're seeing if the servers can hold it now. Let's do it in this LTM. So that if it doesn't work, they just won't say anything, of course, and we'll still be playing regular VR and 120 people. Mm-hmm. Black helicopters. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's very obvious that's the reason they decreased the player count in regular BR a long time ago, was because of the server issues. Has nothing to do with the game's flow. They never thought that. Like you said, they just had to dress it up as something else. They don't admit fault that there's an issue with the server and the game is too cluttered. Because, yes, the servers and trials are dog shit. You can't have gunfights in the first few minutes. You have to land far away and not get in a gunfight. Because, I mean, the other guy's lagging too, but the issue is you guys are seeing 2 completely different scenarios on your screen. Yeah, so one of you is going to get some bullshit kill. Yeah. And then that guy's going to say, like, dude, what? I should have killed them on my screen. Yeah. It's a disaster, though. So we were forced to then land in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't fight people for the first few minutes. And then you can feel, even when you're looting and stuff, it feels like chests were opening slower. But once that player count got down closer to 100 from 150, the servers were magically fine again. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that would explain it perfectly. And I think Cope is probably right on that point. And yeah, so we were like forced to land farther out of zone than we normally do in regular BR because we didn't want to take super laggy gunfights that were just going to be completely RNG. Like, oh, well, I don't know. Whoever gets luckier and sees what's closer to what's actually happening server side is going to win. No, thanks.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Whoever has one less ping.
Exactly, yeah. Let's go really like far out of our way to just loot, get loadout without seeing anyone. By the time we want to fight, the server will be back to like normal. Yeah, normal, passable. And when we did that, holy fuck, the games felt slow. And I would venture to say, if we had landed in all the same spots in regular BR, those games still would have felt less slow than our Iron Trials games did yesterday. I don't know if that's true, but they were like insanely slow. And it's not like we landed out of zone and played out of zone. We landed out of zone. Once we stopped lagging, we went and got a bounty contract because we wanted to play the game now. And we just didn't fucking see anyone. And it wasn't just one game. One game was exceptionally slow, which is the one I talked about. But most of
that
our
one
games,
was weird.
Yeah, that one was super weird. I think that was just kind of unlucky.
It was
But
like
a lot of
every
our
bounty
games
we
were pretty
grabbed,
slow.
you're right. Like every time we grabbed a bounty, they were like minimum like 800, 1,000 meters away. It was
very weird. Yeah. So I think in that case, it was just weird, unlucky game or whatever. But all of our games were slow. All of our games were slower than I think they should have been for us, even if you take into account how far out of zone we landed first. And especially because there were 150 instead of 130 players. I don't know why that's the case. I don't know. I have no explanation for that. Maybe we just had an unlucky couple of games and it was random. That's possible. But it was weird. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, we were landing like way outside of the zone. Like we were usually landing with no people. So yeah. And that was your fault, by the way. But yeah, we kind of had no choice because it was so laggy otherwise. It's like, yeah, we could have taken the fights early on and probably won them, but just didn't want to risk it. We wanted to just get a loadout first. And then by the time you get the money, get a loadout, start ballooning into like deeper in the zone, more to the center of the circle. Then at that point, then we would finally start seeing people. And then the player count would be lower. So we would actually have hit reg and no lag and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it was just unlucky. Yeah, that bounty game was very weird.
It was super strange.
I've never picked up multiple bounties in a row like that, and none of them be close to us whatsoever.
At
it
all.
was
I
odd.
know. It was super weird.
That was like, I think we landed Beachhead maybe on that one, and like, God, the closest person was like 2 major POIs away from us or something. It was nuts.
Weird as fuck. That was a weird game.
But that was just, yeah, that was, I think, just unlucky. Lobbies for that many people, by the way, and everyone having self, they died pretty quickly off the rip. Did you notice that?
Weird. Yes.
It would be down to 100 people in like 5 minutes, which is great for the performance. But when you really think about it, we weren't killing anyone, but people were just getting destroyed off rip, it seems.
Yeah.
Must have just been a bunch of people hot dropping a couple major POIs and just teams getting wiped off the rip and then, I don't know, losing their gulags or something.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. We will again play more 100% of this because I want to give this an honest try, and I don't think we've quite gotten there yet because of how fucking tilted we were last time. Yeah. So we'll play more of this, and I'll remind you guys of that at the end of the episode. But yeah. Next thing, the health. So they lowered base health to 100 from 150, but they made each plate give you 100 or if you have tempered, which basically everyone did because they increased the loot table for tempered.
Like guaranteed to find tempered within a couple minutes.
Tempered. So yeah,
I found 5 by myself in one little area.
So assuming you have tempered, every plate is 150 health on top of your 100 base health for a total of 400 health. This is more than Iron Trials last time. And I don't remember the total health for Iron Trials last time.
No, Trials was 400. It was just, you had 250 of that, or 200 of that was regular health. Yes, it's the same health as last time.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't think that was the case. But anyway.
Pretty sure.
Regardless,
I'm looking it up right now.
That amount of health plus everyone having self-res is too much. It is too much, not even necessarily for the fact of you having to finish every single kill, because quads, where everyone spawns with self, you can buy self, and everyone comes back from gulag with health, or with self, this is, you have to finish every single kill or you're not getting it. It's just that simple. I think as a team, every game we played, we got 1 kill one full without fulling it ourselves. I think that happened actually once when we were by Beachhead. Every single other time you had to finish it yourself or you weren't getting the full. This is just annoying, and I don't think this contributes to a very wide skill gap. But we could quibble about that, but the broader point for me on this is that when you make everyone full everyone else, especially with how far away a lot of these Caldera gunfights are, you're making everyone expend so much ammo to get one kill that you're just always out of ammo. 240 reserve AR ammo is enough for actually 2 fulls.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, and this is just not enough. And it's very annoying because yeah, you're just always out of ammo. So then you have to do one of two things. One, be out of ammo. That's one thing you can do, which we were forced to do many times. Two, go way out of position to go loot a kill that is not safe or smart to loot, that you would never otherwise loot. But you're kind of forced to, because I'd rather get in a dangerous position to get ammo than be in a good position with high ground and 0 bullets in my fucking magazine.
True.
So now it's like, okay, well, and I literally did this once. I was on the peak that is west of mines, overlooking mines, fucking the asses of kids below us in mines. I get a single full. Cool, I'm out of ammo. Smile. So I'm like, all right, I would never do this in regular quads, ever. But I simply have to loot this guy. And his teammates are still down there, and I know they're still down there. But I don't have an option. So, all right, cool. Fucking yeet myself down the slope, run over the guy's stupid little corpse to get AR ammo. I ended up not dying, but I almost did. And the only saving grace is that their loadout was right there. So I had that as cover. I was able to use that as cover, full plate, rip the kid shooting me, get somewhere else safe. But it was still a bad play that I would never do if I wasn't forced to, which this mode forces you to do, especially with how you're giving every single person self-res. So, does it increase the skill gap if everyone always has self? I would say no, honestly. All it doesn't shrink the skill gap either, which is good. And maybe I could think about this more. Maybe it does maybe everyone having self impacts the skill gap one way or the other. I'm actually not sure on that point. But even if it does or doesn't, I still think it's net bad for how much ammo you're wasting. So either in the next time we do Iron Trials, give everyone the capacity to have 500, 480, literally spare rounds of AR ammo, for example, or don't do the self-res shit again. Pick one, because there's not enough ammo. And then the other option is everyone always has a muni, and even that is literally, you're going to run out like in 2 boxes. Like there were times where we were at Beachhead. In fact, this happened. We were at Beachhead. Cope had a muni, and we all had full ammo. We do a team fight. We have to throw the muni now. We throw the muni. We get the muni. We do another team fight. 2 minutes later, we're out of ammo. And then Lag's asking, once we're up on the hill a little bit, more north, we're up on the hill. We fought another team. Lag's like, does everyone have muni? Anyone have muni? Because I'm out of AR. This is after having thrown a muni and gotten full ammo literally 2 minutes before. This is insane. This is not fun. This is not interesting. And being able to buy a munitions box is not an indication of my skill as a player. This is stupid. I don't like it. So give us more reserve ammo capacity or get rid of the self-reses. I don't know which one I would prefer. Probably both, but definitely getting rid of the self-reses.
It's not even just the self-res thing, though, because I was using throwing knife and fulling people immediately.
When you were close enough to, sure.
Well, you had to be close to kill people. we weren't killing people at range unless we were all shooting at them. Yeah. Very rarely were we. Okay. I always had to be in everyone's asses. Okay. Well, so I don't think it has anything to do with self-res. I just think it's the high fire rate guns in Caldera on Vanguard that in regular health take 12, 13 shots to kill. So in this mode, they take like 18 and the fire rate's insane. So if you're fighting anyone even at 50 meters, you can quite literally go through 75 bullets. If they go behind a wall and you have combat scout and then you start wall banging them, it can literally be like 30 hit markers to kill someone.
Yeah, actually.
And then you're going to miss so many shots because the fire rate. And then, the ammo's just gone. Because I even find this issue with a lot of the guns in regular BR still. Like the KGM40, I feel like I'm always out of ammo. A lot of the guns, I just feel that way even in core BR. And it's just because of the high fire rate and like you're taking these long range engagements. And so you're just wasting all this ammo and not killing people. I mean, you obviously shouldn't spawn with a self-res like you do. It's just insanity. And you shouldn't come back from the gulag with one. It's just also just insanity. But I don't think that's the reason we're necessarily running out of ammo. I think it's
I didn't say it's only that. It's that plus the increased health.
Yeah. But it's just, I mean, you shouldn't have self-res. This mode literally, if anything, shouldn't have had self-res in it. And instead, they give you one and then give you one if you win your gulag. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be like the hardcore mode. You should remove that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they've really, really lost sight of what the word hardcore means.
And we're going to get more into that. Yeah.
Yeah, the most hardcore BR experience yet. Yeah, got it, Ted.
Yeah, in fact, we'll move these around, but go ahead. Sorry.
So the plate to health difference is more drastic than I thought it would be. So like when we first started reading the patch notes, sometimes it's hard to imagine how these things are going to play out till you get put in one scenario and then you're like, okay, this changes everything. So I was thinking like changing like the total health to like the plate doesn't seem like it makes that big of a difference to me. It's still like the overall total health, but it does make a big difference. Because if you crack someone enough, then instead of like them being one shot and then stimming and healing quickly, they have to get in cover and start plating. So then you push them and start fighting them early. They're not even full health at that point. So I think a lot of these gunfights actually too, you're not even fighting people at the full 400 health. And it becomes like the time to kill actually isn't as slow as it was in Iron Trials previously. Which is, I think, why worse players, it seems, are killing me when they otherwise weren't, is because I am forced to like be plating or something, and so I'll only have one plate in when they push me, and I'm not full health like I would have otherwise been.
For more of your total health.
Because plates account for way more. Health, exactly. So once your plates are gone, I mean, you're dead in a millisecond. You barely have time to react even. You barely have time to stim. Stims in Iron Trials right now are essentially for pushing things quickly or getting away, not used for healing. I would just use them when I would start getting shot at to get away quicker, basically. I never used one really and had it like actually regen me, other than if I had to go in the gas and buy someone back, and then I stim to stay alive in the gas for a second.
Yes. Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. It feels weird. I think I prefer the more health to the more plates.
I think the base health should be
Seems
the same.
RNG.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's like, that's the regular mode. I don't know. Yeah, it makes having any plates on way more important. And another thing, which I had predicted, by the way, is that even if the total health of Iron Trials used to be 400, and now it's still 400, giving 50 of those health points to the plates and subtracting it from your base health is going to impact you, I had said, in two ways. Number one, stims will be less good because stims are only healing a grand total of up to 99. Whereas before it was at 149. And two, you'll die to gas quicker. And that is absolutely true. People have been saying and thinking, oh my God, the gas is stronger in Iron Trials. No, you just have less health.
Exactly.
So you're dying in fewer ticks because you used to have 150 health. Now you only have 100.
Yeah. So it's like 6 or 7 ticks or something and you're dead. It's pretty damn quick. Yes. I mean, I went like 5 feet into the gas that's an exaggeration. Probably more like 10, 15 feet into the gas to a portable buy. Bought a teammate back. By the time, because the buy station's still bugged and it like sits on the menu for like a second before you can do anything. So like by the time I was done even buying that person and turning around, running back into the zone, I had probably 15, 20% health left. So I had to pop a stim just to go that far in and come out.
Yes. Yeah. So that assumption I made was absolutely correct. Now, I would agree with Tanner that I'd prefer Iron Trials be 150 base health because it's in line with the regular BR mode, and it makes plates a little less important, but not so unimportant that you don't care if you have plates or not. Plates are still super important, whether you have 150 base health or 100. But we're skewed super heavily toward plates now in Iron Trials. So I would still say I'd prefer 150 base health over 100. With that said, I don't care that the gas kills you even faster in Iron Trials than it does in regular BR. This is one of the things I really like about Warzone, is that you can't just be a little gas rat for like a solid actual 5 minutes like you can in Apex or in PUBG, where you always have to be worried about someone in the gas behind you in those games, especially early game, because you can survive in the gas like forever in most BRs. And in Warzone, that's never been the case. You're always like, gas is behind me. Unless this is like late game and someone's making a play on me, I'm almost certainly safe from behind me if it's just gas behind me. I really like that about Warzone. I think that's a good implementation of the gas.
Puts more people closer together to fight. Because, yeah, PUBG, it's like people could be anywhere.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And it's, yeah, I never liked that about the other BRs. I think it's kind of dumb. If you're trying to shrink the play area, actually shrink the fucking play area then.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, so...
Why have a play area when you can stay 5 minutes outside of
exactly,
it?
It's stupid. So, the fact that the gas kills you even faster in Iron Trials, I just don't care. I'm totally fine with that. That portion of the base health thing doesn't matter to me. But again, as I said, I still would prefer 150 base health. Next, the Gulag. I mean, didn't take a genius to figure out that the Gulag was going to be fucking dog shit after having learned that it's pistols and a sledgehammer. And that was exactly...
Stiletto.
Yeah, shout out to Stiletto, you dumb bitch. And that was, of course, exactly the case, which is the least surprising thing that's ever happened to me. And Tanner was like, oh, okay. So the strategy in the Gulag is to ignore your pistol and go full send with your sledgehammer and win, which is exactly what we did. And it worked great. These dumb fucks trying to use a pistol, skill gap, by the way, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you with a hammer and win. And that's exactly what I did and won. High skill gap, by the way. RNG, yeah. Whoever swings their hammer sooner. If your opponent's smart enough to use the hammer, if they're dumb enough to use the pistol, again, real high skill gap, you just got melee'd. I mean, it's so stupid. Duh.
Melee stuck, yeah.
And it does
melee
not,
auto aim.
exactly, yeah. And it does not increase the skill gap. It dramatically reduces it. So either I win by default because I have a brain and switch to my melee weapon, which is not a skill gap, or I win purely because of RNG, because a sledgehammer versus a sledgehammer 1v1 has no bearing on who's more skilled. You don't win the sledgehammer v sledgehammer 1v1 because you're a better player. That's never happened once ever. It's literally just like whoever hit first is gonna win. This is not a barometer of skill. So I don't know why they did this. They thought people would use the pistols. At least don't take away the melee weapon, because I'm on keyboard and mouse and I can't compete with a pistol unless the other person's on keyboard and mouse. But also, if you want it to be skill, then at least take away the melee weapon. But it's just dumb. But go back to the last Iron Trials where it was like subs and ARs. That was good. That was an actual skill-based Gulag. So this was, of course, insane.
Yeah. And also it's like top breaks and stuff. I'm like, really? It's just insane. The other thing weird with the Gulag is You have armor plates, but it doesn't show that, of course. It just shows your health. So it shows they have 100 health, and then you'll like shoot them once, and it'll still say they have 100 health. I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, oh, it's because they have armor plates. So yeah, my strat was I had to hit a guy like twice with a sledgehammer. At that point, he was down to like 30 health, and then he started running away from me to like regen, and then I just shot him once in the back. Yeah, don't use your pistol. It's
Imagine shooting in a first-person shooter.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a slap in the face to any skilled player, which is supposedly what this mode is designed for, that they make the gulag guns a pistol and a melee. How lost are you to design that in a mode that's supposed to be more skilled? Like, what? I don't get it.
It's officially the summertime, and everybody talks about looking good for the warmer months, but few have the balls to do it. Well, it's time to nut up or shut up and take the easiest step to looking sexy this summer by using MANSCAPED. MANSCAPED's ultra smooth package makes sure you have the proper care for down there. And their Boxers 2.0 gives you the perfect stage to show off the new look. These products may make you look hot, but your cleanly shaved nethers will keep you cool. And the Boxers 2.0 patented dual touch pouch technology will keep your boys from turning any beach day into a swamp day. Dive headfirst into summer by joining the 5 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/dropshot. The Ultra Smooth Package is a specialized 3-step groin shaving kit to help you buff, protect, and smooth your most sensitive areas. I'm talking crop shaver razor, crop exfoliator, and crop gel. This kit is the perfect polish to make your family jewels shine. If you've ever tried to shave your balls before, you know. It gets difficult. Not with Manscaped. Step 1, the crop exfoliator. Infused with ingredients that can soothe, clear, and keep the skin on and around your groin feeling refreshed, the exfoliator will help reduce the risk of ingrown hairs in your delicate places. The crop gel. See where you're shaving with our unique clear shaving gel, which is very nice. Just for the groin. It's called your delicate area for a reason. This is one place you do not want to go in blind. And step 3, of course, it is time to shave. The crop shaver was designed for shaving the groin area with confidence. This razor has 3 precision blades, including extra wide lubricating strips and a pivoting head for the ultimate groin grooming experience. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. There are so few perfect summer days. Don't let hot, sweaty balls ruin them. Stay fresh, clean, and smelling good with Manscaped. Next! Thank you guys again, Nicole and Miss Brime. I appreciate it. Next thing here is the cost of the loadout. So they did a new little thing where the loadout cost would scale with how early in the game it was. So off rip, a loadout costs 15,000 rather than 10,000. And then I think late game it got down to like 7.5, right? Or did it only go down to 10?
I don't. It did go. Well, I don't know. I had hardline half the time because perks are in the game.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I don't even know what it was supposed to be.
It definitely goes down to at least 10, if not even lower. We don't really know.
I think it was 75.
The thing is like we would buy a loadout and then we would loot tempered. So I didn't even really care about getting a second loadout. Like,
it literally did not matter. I never needed second loadout. And I would find ghosts half the time, so I didn't need it.
Yeah, exactly. So this was a little thing they did. It's just completely irrelevant. I'm not for it or against it. I don't care. And it doesn't matter. When you're playing quads, the difference between 15,000 and 10,000 is actually 30 seconds of looting. So it's not impactful to me at all. It's almost a trivial difference in quads. If you're going to make me spend 15 versus 10, again, that's literally like 30 seconds of looting. And then you'll have it. It's like, who cares? So it was kind of a distinction without a difference. And this is kind of This is what Activision does a lot. They'll change things that don't matter, and then the change won't matter, and it just won't impact the game positively or negatively. It'll just be just some different thing for the sake of being different. So it's kind of like a cute little idea or whatever, but it just doesn't matter.
I think that may be some sort of test, like maybe they are thinking about putting that in regular BR.
Yeah,
because it would actually line up with making the game so much easier in what they've done the last few months. Even easier to regain now, a cheaper loadout.
Later game, yeah.
Cheaper teammates, more money. It all makes sense to kind of the direction they're headed. So I can definitely see that coming to regular Warzone. It's just cheaper as they go on. I don't think they would raise the price early on. Well, because you get the free one anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
True.
That's the other thing about this is Iron Trials. You don't get a free one, so you have to buy it. But yeah, it doesn't matter. We got the first one within a few minutes every time. But maybe they're thinking about doing that in regular core BR.
The scaling system. That's a good
quotations. Point. Maybe starting at 10, though, and then going down to 75, even something like that later game, like Third Circle and later. That could be something they're looking into.
You might be right about that. That's a really good point. I think you might be onto something there. Because that would make regains easier late game.
Because the second loadout, too, in core comes in very late.
It does come super late.
It almost doesn't matter half the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're either dead by then or you already bought a second loadout and haven't died, so you just don't even need that one. That one you a lot of times just leave for if your teammate gets down, you got to buy him back. There's a loadout there for you to grab.
And more often than not, the second loadout, it's so late that more often than not, that is not safe to get. It drops with 8 other loadouts, and it's in like a bad spot, small zone. Like, it's really dangerous. So, yeah, that's it.
Or maybe they know it comes in at a dog shit time way late anyways. Maybe they're thinking about scrapping the second loadout in core, and they're going to give you one free loadout and then drop the price of it after a little while or something, too. Who knows?
Yeah. These are all things that are possible for sure. And we know that they've tested things they want to bring to regular BR in other modes that are not regular BR, i.e. Vanguard BR, Vanguard Royale. This is literally what they did. They tried a bunch of shit in Vanguard Royale. The things that they thought would be good for regular BR, they brought over. The things they didn't think were good or got bad feedback,
bombers.
They didn't.
Yes, baby.
And they did not listen to community feedback on bombers. Or the community's even dumber than I thought, and they said, we should bring these to regular BR. Both are entirely possible.
Fuck yeah.
In either case, dog shit. And these are not in Iron Trials, which is good. There were no fighter jets or fucking bomber planes. I was pleased with that.
They should have had double the amount of bombers.
Well, I mean, if you're going to put pistols and fucking sledgehammers in the gulag, you might as well. And give everyone self-res, you might as well. You should all spawn with a fucking tank. That's what I think. So, anyway.
They literally, though, should have just spawned you with tempered. Why not just give it to me off the rip?
It was so common that you might as well.
You should just always have tempered. Yeah, when you come back from the gulag, everything. It was kind of weird that I even had to pick it up because their whole idea of the mode was based around everyone having tempered. So it's like, just give it to me from the start then. Doesn't matter. It's just like a thought, just, I don't know. I guess that's harder to code than just spawning it everywhere on the map and just picking it up right away though.
Yeah. So on the topic of what guns we were using, what guns you should use, I'll start by saying the 3-line rifle was like bugged. I don't think it was bugged. It's just, it was not working as intended because if you hit a headshot with the 3-line, you technically do like 500 damage. So it's a one-shot down.
With a specific barrel. It's like the 820 barrel.
Oh, really? Then maybe it is bugged. So that existed. Some people were using it. I never got headshotted by it. I did get sniped at a couple times. I'm almost positive they were using a 3-line. The thing about it is, though, especially in Iron Trials, first of all, I didn't want to use it because it's a bug. I don't want to exploit bugs to like play the game or win. That's pretty cringe, so I didn't do it for that reason. But even if I did want to do that, this is what would happen to me a lot. Some guy looking at me, I see his glint, he shoots at me. He's either going to hit a headshot and I'm going to be real mad, which never happened, or he's going to miss, which is great, or he'll hit me, but it won't be a headshot and it'll do like 20 damage. And it's like, I'm taking almost no damage and I don't give a fuck at all. So you are really going all in with that strat on top of being a bug exploiting little cunt. So I didn't snipe. It wasn't a problem. The people who were trying to be bug exploiting little cunts didn't once hit me in the head because they're dog shit. So that didn't matter at all. Sniping was a non-factor in our games. And of course, none of us sniped. What guns did we use? We started with the KGM-40. I thought it was fine. It felt okay. It just took forever to get downs. And oftentimes it wasn't even going to happen unless you were team shooting, as Tanner said earlier. So then the game after that match, we were like, okay, let's try some other guns, because maybe some other guns will feel better. So we tried the Automaton, and that has a 75 round mag, which was the biggest reason I wanted to try it, because again, you're going to have to spend a lot of bullets, and having an extra 15 would be nice. So I tried that, and I fucking hated it. It felt like it almost certainly does less damage per mag. So I didn't even feel like I was getting 15 extra bullets. I was, but they were like so much weaker, it felt like, that I just felt completely ineffectual. Even more so than I did with the KGM-40. So then I tried the STG without Vital, but with the 60 round mag, or 50 round mag. 60 round mag. And the 60 round mag on the STG is not the cal down option. I did not cal down. I kept the normal standard magazine, which no one ever does with Vanguard ARs anymore. But using this and not using Vital, because Vital increases damage, but it adds more recoil. And you can't really do that, especially with how many bullets you need in Iron Trials. So I didn't do Vital, but I did do the 60 round mag. That felt best to me. That felt really good. It felt like I was actually doing damage, more so than the KG. It was a little harder to hit shots, but it felt worth it to me. But I would have ranked those three guns, STG, KG, Automaton, personally. What did you try? What were your thoughts on this?
So I did not try the KG ever. I started with the UGM because everyone was saying that was the best gun. That was cap to me. JGod was saying it was the best. I know Warzone Loadout posted a thing saying it was one of the best. A lot of other people were talking about it. It felt like utter shit to me. I don't know. Because the thing is, like, yeah, unless you're team shooting, you're not getting downs in those long range engagements that you usually do. Like, you know, you can get in fights over mines from one side to the other and get downs in Core BR. You're not going to do that in this unless you're all team shooting. So it's like, then I'm stuck with this shit mobility LMG that takes 8 seconds to reload, has an insane fire rate. So even though it's 125 round mag, the ammo's gone in like the same amount of time that an Automaton 75 round is gone. It also had terrible velocity, the setup I was using, which was like the metal one. I didn't look up what the velocity was yet, but it felt like it had like 1,000 velocity.
Felt the same. Yeah, I felt the same, rather. The velocity was
so
not
like
good.
I started shooting at people in the air. I swear to God, I would like burst like 40 or 50 shots and get like 2 hit markers on them. It was hard to hit people with that because I wasn't used to that terrible velocity because I don't use the UGM in Core. So I was done with that experiment. And then Lag had said that a lot of the sweats, like the wager type kids were using the auto, which I was like, okay, that actually makes sense. Cause yeah, most of the gunfights where you're going to get downs is going to be like medium range anyways, close to medium range, like inside of 75 meters at the most. The Automaton has excellent mobility. It has a really quick reload. I was like, that kind of makes sense. It's easy to control at that range. So I tried it, and that one did feel the best to me. I didn't use the STG, but the auto did feel good for me. There was like one game where I went into the gas to buy Lag back, and it was me and him versus 4 other guys. And I was behind that rock, and we were fighting them. Like I was saying, if I had the UGM there, I wouldn't even have gotten a down. I got like 1 down and 1 full, and I wouldn't have gotten either of those with a UGM because of the terrible reload time. But with the auto, I was able to get a bunch of shots on reload real quick, peek back out, and you can't do that with an LMG. So I think the UGM is cap. Didn't work for me because on things seem one way on paper, and then you play it and you realize I don't need some gun with like a high fire rate and no recoil because I'm not downing people at 200 meters in this mode. You have to get in close, so I don't want a slow mobility LMG. So I was using the Auto and the Marco 5, and that felt good to me. I like both of those. But yeah, I would have liked to try the SDG. I saw people talking about that. A lot of people talking about the Cal Down, which, I mean, that sucker's got to take 23 bullets to kill in that mode, so I don't know. And it only holds 50. But, you know, the mode is kind of based on lower recoil guns that don't do a lot of damage, and you just have to keep putting bullets into them and team shooting, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even try the UGM. Even if all of its stats are good on paper, you're gonna miss shots anyway. You're gonna have to reload a lot more than in regular BR anyway. So I'm not even trying an LMG. It reloads way too fucking slow. Yeah. And if you get in a position like you did, where it's final 2 teams, and you're dry on AR, if you have an LMG, you just aren't using it anymore. Exactly. You have one gun now. Like, actually, you don't have time to reload it. Well, yeah, so you need an AR. Even a slow
and I got pushed to someone I didn't hear. So yeah, I would have been stuck reloading.
The Warzone experience, exactly. So yeah, I didn't even try an LMG, and I would not recommend any LMG that doesn't reload as quickly as a standard AR for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, SMGs. I was using the Blixen. It felt good. But
I got killed with the Blixen a lot. Blixen and Marco, that is the same as it is in Core, I
was going
to
say, the SMGs are going to be probably like the exact same. Maybe a little different for Iron Trials, the meta there, but it didn't seem to be the case when I was dying to them. It seemed to be the same SMGs I die to in regular BR, so yeah. What do we have next here, Tanner Dropshot?
I kind of said it earlier, but this mode should not have ground loot perks. It's supposed to be a hardcore mode meant for better players to have an advantage, or not have an advantage, but more of a skill gap. There should not be ground loot perks. We already talked about the self-res thing. That's obvious. Ground loot perks should absolutely not be in this. That's why I would have rather had the old rule set with the more health and plates doing the normal 50 instead of the 100 health and plates doing, I guess they're, well, with tempered, yeah, it's 150.
Yeah, with tempered, it's 150.
Yeah, I would have rather had that than this, and then everyone just grabbing tempered. I don't know. It just shouldn't have ground loot perks. It's too RNG. Yeah, it's like, and I feel like there were more of them. I got so many perks.
There were one time, a lot, dude,
I got tempered. I got ghost.
Tracker. That game, I think you got too.
Tracker also, and I got combat scout. So I'm like, dude, I don't even need to grab a loadout. It doesn't. I don't even need one. This is insane.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense adding more RNG to this. So again, though, they're straying further and further away from BR and a way more casual game mode for people. And I've said this before, by the way. Stop turning Caldera into that. The people that want to play that type of game will play Rebirth or Fortune's Keep. They're not going and playing Caldera just because you're turning it into Resurgence. That makes zero sense, Ted. You need to stop doing that. Those people don't care enough. They don't like the map. It's not that they don't like the mode necessarily. They don't like the mode. They don't want to admit it. But it's the map they don't enjoy. So stop turning Caldera into Resurgence. Leave it as a BR, more like Verdansk was. It's so obvious, but I guess you guys can't seem to figure that out. I don't know.
I completely agree. Yeah.
You're not going to draw people over doing that. You're just going to piss off the Caldera players, which is exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. If someone likes to play Resurgence, they are going to play Resurgence. They're not going to play a BR that has a bunch of Resurgence elements in it.
Yeah.
Like
they like the small map, the quick. Yeah.
Like, if I go to a restaurant and I'm the type of guy that likes cheeseburgers, and you have cheeseburgers on your menu, but also you want to sell more salads, so you made a salad with fucking ground beef in it to make it more like a cheeseburger to get me onto your cheeseburger salad train. Hey, I don't like cheeseburger salads. I like cheeseburgers. I'm going to buy a goddamn cheeseburger. So making your other shit that are not cheeseburgers more like cheeseburgers to get me to buy them isn't going to work, because if I want a goddamn cheeseburger, if I like cheeseburgers, I'm going to buy a fucking cheeseburger. I'm not going to go elsewhere and get a cheeseburger type thing. That's why I don't buy cheeseburger egg rolls from fucking Kraft. Hey, Kraft,
you know what I like? Bring that up.
Your burger. Not your cheeseburger egg rolls. Nothing you can do to an egg roll is going to make me, a cheeseburger enjoyer, not eat the goddamn cheeseburger. Stop. Let egg rolls be egg rolls and let cheeseburgers be cheeseburgers.
Dude, I know.
Or we're just going to make a shitty hybrid version of both that no one likes.
It's because the owner of Chef has to be some like new age, like modern type food, like guru, little fucking real foodie piece of shit. And he's like, ooh, let's make a cheeseburger egg roll. Stop.
Yeah.
No shot anyone's ordering those. I'm sure they're delicious, but I'm just going to order a burger. Then what am I going to get? A burger and fucking cheeseburger egg rolls?
It's too much.
No, man.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm never not ordering the burger if I'm going to Kraft. Fuck you, Kraft. Sponsor us, though, please. By the way, looking for sponsors. Email us.
Absolutely sponsor us, yeah. Shout out to CRFT. And if you guys wanted to go there and eat, too bad, move.
Move to where we live.
Yeah, it's that simple. So, God, it's so good. Might get it tonight.
It's so good.
Could.
You gonna get it tonight? I think you should.
Maybe I will. It's so fucking good. Anyways.
Craft cummies.
So yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, having ground loot perks is just more RNG. That does not widen the skill gap. It shrinks it. So, cool. Yeah, so now we got our next point, Tanner.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as usual, I didn't not have fun because it was Trials. I didn't have fun because it was Warzone. So we're going to put a lot more time into this game mode. I am actually excited to play it again and hopefully not tilt this time. We'll have to just do it off stream because all my OBS will probably crash another 15 times. So we'll play it again. Maybe it'll be less tilting not streaming it too. It's always more tilting when there's a few people watching and then you're having all these issues with like the game and stuff. That does tilt you even more.
True.
So off stream, maybe I won't get as mad. But yeah, it's like our best game was when we random filled with two absolute trash can teammates, and we got pretty far. They were dead the entire time, of course.
They literally did nothing.
I think that got us into a worse lobby, though. Because we had one game with Cope and Lag where I was just looking at the lobbies. It was like a 1-4-8. There were, I think, 12 kids in that lobby with higher than a 3.0 overall
And
KD.
we were VPNing, by the way. They don't work. I mean, 1.48 with a VPN on. VPNs work, though. And this isn't even a slight at the people who are anti-VPN. It's a slight at you and every other one of you who all insists on VPNing. Cope, I'm talking to you, too. Stop wasting my time. They don't work. Stop VPNing.
Raz gets real mad.
Well, they don't work. We're just wasting. Everyone's just wasting their time. It's so dumb.
It works at times. That one definitely didn't, though. I think in that mode we would have gotten worse lobbies if we weren't VPNing. Yeah. It's the same thing with the World Series of Warzone playlist right now. Everyone's talking about VPNing to get worse lobbies, but I'm not kidding. If you play that game mode and don't VPN, you're probably getting easier lobbies because every wager kid out there is VPNing in the World Series of Warzone playlist and then probably getting demonic lobbies half the time. You're better off just not VPNing sometimes. And I think this mode may be one of those.
Our first game, Lobby KD, by the way, with the two random dogshit kids, 1.06. That's like pretty average, a little above average.
Yeah, our teammates were average. One was like a 1.1, the other was like a 0.8, I think, or something, or 0.9.
Yeah, those are like average players, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but they were all over the place. We had a it was 1.38, and then our next game was a 0.61, and we still got 8th place in that, by the way.
We did.
And that was the one Lag threw. It's Lag's fault. It's Lag or Cope, whoever jumped off the mountain and they started getting shot at. No, I was the third one to go. Cope and Lag were both down there already. I think Lag went first because Lag's a dumb
Cope was
fucking
up there with me.
Dipshit chimp. Was he?
Yes. 100%.
Okay, then I pushed down because one of them was getting fucked up down there, and I guess it was Lag. So I'm like, oh my god, I guess I'll go try to help Lag. And then of course we died, and then we literally would have won that game if we just stayed up on the hill. But Lag's a dumb shit.
Right? Yeah, but
Lag's used to playing like a quads chimp and not using his brain and just killing everything, and so we lost.
That's the game I was talking about where I died from behind 10 feet away and just didn't hear him once.
And if we had been up on that hill with you, we probably would have killed that team and then won that game.
That's almost certainly true, but again, normally I would jump to blame you because every time we lose, it is almost always your fault, and you're not good. But in that case, that game was so goddamn slow, I'm not even mad that you wanted to just go fight people because we're playing an FPS game and we've seen 4 people in 20 minutes. Good.
That
go
was
die.
That was the bounty game,
it'll be
right?
interesting. I mean, of course you jump down. Like
that was Lag's issue. I think he's just like, I don't know what to do, man. I haven't killed anyone in 30 seconds. He's like losing his fucking mind. Yeah. He's like sweating over there. Yeah, he's like shaking.
He has brain damage from standing in front of a crane. So his impulse control is just really not good. Because he has brain damage, so that happened.
Yeah. So we fought some kids down there and then died and lost the game. So that was cool. But the mode's great. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll have more fun if there's not other issues causing me to rage, like crashing 60 frames, having to restart my game, and then having to restart it again automatically. So hopefully our next session is a lot better. Because I'm excited to play more of this mode. But yeah, there's still some things that I don't care how much I play, I'm not going to agree with. The self-res is one of them. Shouldn't spawn with it. Shouldn't come back from the gulag with it. The gulag gun's terrible. The health to armor changes, we'll have to play more to determine that. But as of now, I do prefer the old system of more health and then armor plates doing the normal 50 instead of armor plates being like 75% of your health right now.
Yes.
Not a big fan of that as of now, but we'll see how that plays out. And yeah, I don't think ground loot perks should be in at all either in this mode. It should be more hardcore.
Yep, I agree.
Not easier.
Yeah, so we'll play more and we'll give you guys more of our thoughts for sure. But I can say with 100% confidence, I prefer the last Iron Trials rule set to this one. And that's never going to change. I'm not going to play this game today or tomorrow or whenever and be like, oh, you know what? I actually like that every single person has self-res. Or you know what? I actually like this gulag where I have a pistol and a sledgehammer more than an SMG. I'm never going to... That won't happen. But maybe there are some other things that I will come to enjoy about this iteration of Iron Trials. But we will play more and we'll let you guys know. So that's it. Let us know your thoughts. We will, again, play more, talk more. One quick announcement reminder. I've gotten 3 DMs in the past week about not being able to join the Discord. Okay, listen. If you can't join the Discord, it's because you're on an iPhone. And what you have to do... Here's what you should have done instead of DMing me, first of all. So, and I blame all of you who DM me instead of just engaging your brain a tiny bit. Google, I can't join a Discord, and then you would find the answer in 30 seconds. But you guys need your hands held, so fine. Okay, it's because you're on an iPhone. And this is a dumb feature of Discord, by the way. Discord also shouldn't have this feature. Or, excuse me, iPhone. Whatever the fuck the case may be. If you're on iPhone and if you can't join the Discord server, then you need to sign into Discord on your web browser, not on the Discord app. And then you need to go into your settings and allow your account to join not safe for work Discords, because our Discord is not safe for work or life or
it's not safe for many things.
It's not safe at all. And the ATF do have bugs and sleeper cells in our Discord, as they should. And then once you enable that setting, then you can join our Discord on apps and shit. But that's what's happening. Google it, which is what you should have done instead of DMing me, and fuck all of you. So just to let you guys know, the link's not broken. Don't imply that the link is broken. Don't imply that I don't know that the link is broken, because it's not broken, because it's your fault, not ours. And fuck you, and Google it. Just go into the settings on a browser. That's how you fix it. So there you go. To preempt even more DMs that I will be getting on this topic. But with that said, I've replied to all of you with instructions. So this is for future people. And also, there is a Patreon post if you're a patron who can't join the Discord on patreon.com, on our Patreon. Go to the tags on our page. Go to announcement. Scroll. And there's a post I've made about how to join the Discord on iOS. There are detailed instructions there. That is it. Patreon.com/thedropshot is the best way to support the program. 7 bonus eps a month, monthly hangouts, and more. We will be doing a very fun and exciting overhaul of the Patreon for the month of September. So now is a great time to join, because things are about to get spicy red hot for all of our patrons in September. We're going to offer some new, extremely fun and exciting benefits that I think all of you are going to really enjoy. And that's going to be for all Patreon tiers. So we will keep you posted on what we mean by that as we come closer to September. And if you're a Damascus patron, we've already revealed what we're thinking of doing in our latest behind the scenes episode. So check that out. Thedropshot.com, you can find links to everything. The Twitter, where we post our weekly schedule. The Discord, which you probably can't join because you can't rub your two brain cells together. And the YouTube, the video versions of the episodes, the podcast, and of course the Patreon again, which is once again the best way to support the show. And a donation link, which is also a great way to support the show. Give us money. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. We'll see you next week. Stay humble.
Dumble.